On today's episode of Watch Dare Go, something that's been a long time coming. My Ariel Atom gets a new axle. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Dare Go, and the last time you guys saw this car, I was making a pull, we were flat out, and then all of a sudden there was no more power. It was very unfortunate. So what happened was this axle broke. If you take a look right here, you can see that now I can turn this axle independently of the cup inside the wheel bearing there. So it's actually just fully flopping around. Honestly, I figured if I shoved it back in there, it would work. But the deal is, this is a Frankenstein axle that Britt and I built at PFI speed to make this thing work on the dyno. And we thought it was gonna hold up, and it did. For a few passes and for the dyno pulls. The reason we had to build Frankenstein axle is because while this thing was on the trailer riding to Colorado, the splines, literally, you can see the welds in there, they're horrible. Has like a bunch of booger welds, which is fine on an exhaust, I guess, but probably less fine when it's holding the splines into the cup. And what happened is the actual spline section just fell out somewhere on the highway, never to be seen again. We searched everywhere and it's gone. Now, this axle's a little bit tricky because it has epoxied on magnets that are the pickup for the speedo, so those are important. The transmission has its own speed pickup that it uses for launch control and boost by gear and all that fun stuff, and this is the one for the gauges. So it's not critical, obviously. Who needs gauges? Just drive with the traffic. But it would be cool to have a speedometer that worked, so that does need replaced. And this is the style of the, what's this called? Axle man.
Axle man. Those are just the bearings.
I mean, yeah, but this would be like the
bearing
yoke.
and the cage.
Yeah, the bearing cage yoke or something, because it's a three-way deal. Man, it really does bind in there once.
So that's like an OE style CV shaft.
Exactly, ones that last forever. And this is definitely like some kind of heavy-duty built axle. And what went in there is one from an Acura TSX, which instead of having these super nice needle bearings on these well-machined rollers and a baller cup, the one that's in there now is a cheap Honda style one that's just 3 pins, and those 3 pins are riding in a much tighter cup, and it didn't hold up, but it's fine. It worked on the dyno. Anyway, we don't need any of this. I've already talked to DSS about this. They told me what they want, and it was not this. It fit easily, and then I cleaned all the grease off of it. Now it doesn't fit at all. So apparently the grease, relatively critical. Because it just fell a little bit. It just fell in and out before. So what we're gonna do now is jack the rear of the Atom up, throw it on some jack stands instead of tying up a lift for, I'm not quite sure how long it's gonna take to get this done, but we're gonna work with DSS, the drive shaft shop, and have a custom axle made for the driver's side that solves this problem for real. Now this thing already has custom billet uprights. It has all kinds of expensive hardware in it that's even beyond what Atom does. The wheel bearings fail a lot in the Atoms. This has the fixed uprights, and we have to get them some measurements, which means we have to take the axle out. So what we're gonna do right now is jack this thing up, put it on the stands, and yank out that stock axle, or the Frankenstein axle. These super long threads.
Those are long.
Race car things. I mean, these are the race uprights. They're better than anything Atom supplied at that time, that's for sure. All right, now we got to get this nut off of here. Oh, that came right out. But then again, it's not like we destroyed it putting it together. So the axle is free. Now we just have to get this off, and we might be able to squeeze it out, and we might have to pull the shock absorber off. I don't know yet. So we've got our hex sockets here. This thing is monstrous, and it looks like it is 12 millimeters. This job's going faster than I ever expected. Boom. So the one thing you have to be careful of when you flop these over is the brake lines. They will take up all that slack instantly, as they have done many times before. And DSS needs us to take some measurements here. Sweet, look at that. Didn't even have to. Ready? Good hammer. I do, but we've always just popped it. Dang, she goes. She's out. So there's our floppy axle, as you can see. Nothing left there. And we'll put this upright back together. Do your NASCAR thing. Oh yeah. Okay. So DSS said make sure the suspension was loaded, and it is. It's about where the car sets, and we need a measurement from the bottom of this seal, I know it's tough to see on the transmission there, over to the inside of the bearing. So it's actually going to be a little tough to get this measurement, but I think we can pull it off.
I'm saying the best measurement we could possibly have here is probably 18 and an eighth.
That's what it looks like from up here.
Casey, you want to double check it? So if you guys didn't know, the statue here used to be the go-to guy at G-Force and build axles and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Looks like 18 and 8 to me. What are your thoughts?
Yep.
18 and 8?
18 and an eighth.
All right. Well, there you go. We're going to send this off to DSS, and they said they don't even need the old axle. They're just going to whip something up, I guess. So we're going to send them some measurements and some numbers. And now with the magic of time travel, these axles will vanish and new ones will appear. It's now been 1 year since the last time I've driven my Ariel Atom. But yesterday I got a package that we've been waiting on for a long time. Obviously the package that we sent out at the beginning of this video, a box from a drive shaft shop. So if we can get this thing open here. All right, here we go. First time seeing it. Wow, this is very clean looking. This is a Honda K-Series stub, and this is out of a Saab. So that is how they did this, where it's the Saab type. And Drive Shaft Shop absolutely hooked this thing up for me, custom building this axle. So all we have to do now is jack this thing back up. As you know, it only takes a couple of seconds to do this. It only took us, what, maybe 10 minutes in total to get the thing apart. So we're just gonna jack this thing up real quick, spin the wheel back off, and I've got the impact all set up to do that. Slide in the axle after I pull the top bolt off the upright. I didn't even tighten these down for real. It was just kind of sitting. A couple seconds later, it's back together. I just need to torque the upright and torque the axle nut. We can put the wheel back on and go drive this thing. I am gonna refill the diff and trans and everything like that. It's probably a little bit low. I know that it leaked a little bit on the floor while the axle was out. That'll just take me a couple of minutes and I can finally drive this car again. I'm excited, I hope you guys are too. And today, we're gonna go get a 60 to 130 out of it too and see just how fast this car is. I think it's unbelievable. She's running again. It's up to temp, it's been idling for a bit. It's time to take it out for the first drive in forever. So Brody's here to hold the camera.
Might be a little shaky.
Yep, I forgot how to drive it.
Did you really?
Nah. You ready for your first go-kart ride?
No, not really.
Pulled up to get some E85, and we've got another E85 Turbo K-Series car sitting there. And the cool part about that ethanol is it only costs 15 bucks to fill this thing back up. So let's get back out on the road, and then everybody wants to drive it today. Your dad wants to drive it. That's your dad and Scott. Then it's for sale. After that, we're done with this car. All right, Brody, how was your first ride in the old Atom?
It was good. I liked it.
All right. Well, I like it too. I love that it's back. My hair has been professionally restyled by the car, and now it's time to clean it off because it is covered in dirt from how long it's been sitting. And I'm super happy to have some fresh E85 in it so we can get on it. Your old E85 is really bad for your car. Obviously, that stuff draws moisture, so be careful with it. Gasoline, it's fine. E85, a little trickier, especially when you're running big horsepower. So I'm gonna wipe this thing down, and then I think we're gonna use Avalon King's new fast ceramic on the car to make it stay clean. And what's this? Wow, that was an incredibly loud exhaust for a Ram. I was like, that's a Harley. Anyway, let's clean this thing up. So we have the new Avalon King microfiber towels that come in this nice package. And this is their new, first time I've seen it, and I'm excited about this. Make sure, if you're buying this stuff, use promo code WatchJRGO on Avalon King's website. It will hook you up. But this is the new Armor Shield Light Fast Ceramic Spray, and the instructions say, super fast ceramic coating and an easy clean, super hydrophobic, maximum shine on your vehicle surface. Any surface, anytime, any condition, wet, dry, hot, or cold. Simple spray, instant wipe. So, I'm pretty pumped about, no way! I think they did this for me. I think Avalon King did this for me, dude. What? I need to email them and ask, but it says, please don't drink or put it in your eyes, even if you own a Pontiac Aztek. Are you kidding me, guys? Like, thank you so much. They totally did that for me.
That is awesome.
That's unbelievable. All right, well, huge thanks to Avalon King for sending this stuff over, and let's try it out. I can't wait to try it out. Same color as the Aztek too, so let's see. This stuff's very dirty. We haven't pre-wiped it or anything like that. All right, it's purple. We got some, hey, don't eat that. That's probably not a dog thing.
Rock.
It did say right on the bottle. Don't put it in your eyes.
It does say, even if you own a Pontiac Aztek.
Look how much dirt. Look how much dirt came off that thing. It's been sitting for a long time. Wow. Dude, it's super slick. I love it. It feels great. Let's, I know it probably needs a couple seconds to cure, but I think we should pour water on it.
Let's grab the bottle.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Then I need to take my time and clean all these dampers and everything. Everything on this is just covered in dirt. I mean, it's been sitting for a year. So while Scott's grabbing water, I'm gonna wipe off a little bit more of the dust. Ooh, you can feel it pick up the dust. Go for it, dude. Tell me what your thoughts are. That is super hydrophobic.
I mean,
And it was sheeting before the beads.
yeah.
All right, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
This might be my new favorite, like, Swiss Army knife cleaner. You've been using it for a couple seconds. What's the detailer's take?
I mean, it's a really good product. I'm really happy with it.
So I did that light, and I think it worked great. You just did that one, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
The water is still beating on the surface. It didn't dry or water spot.
No.
And the craziest thing with this product ever, first, I'm in love with it being for me. Like, how crazy is that, Avalon King? Now all the products got, he just hit it with a scooter. It cleaned the silicone boost couplers on the intercooler. And that is so hard to do. If you guys have ever tried to clean these, you know it's always a nightmare trying to get them to come back to life. They look amazing. Clamps, silicone. I wiped down the whole car. All of the paint, all of the plastic. I just wiped it all down with this, and all of it looks great. Even the dampers, all of the suspension. I did all the rods, and it looks brand new. So,
Super slick.
I'm never making this stuff up. Giving you guys honest opinions here. I'm just gonna use this on everything from now on.
For sure.
All right, you can go drive it.
I can go drive it.
You get one shot before I get rid of it.
Before it's sold?
Yep,
Well, better make it a good one.
that's right. Jake's taking this thing out for his first time driving the Atom. Your harness is flipped on your shoulder there. There you go. All right, I'm hopping in. Let's rock and roll. Nailed it.
This is exactly how the Ducati's clutch is.
Yeah, it's just with your foot, and you don't have any time. You just have to send it all the time. You don't get time to like think about your clutch release. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, you got it. And now we're out on a relatively secret road to do another photo shoot with the car, because that's what we do with it. I think it's been on more photo shoots and race tracks than anything else. It's just not great out on the street. It's cool, but there's no easy way to drive it around. It's always a race car and nothing else. Like the clutch is impossible. The brakes, obviously no power. It's a race car, no power on the rack, you know. So it's a handful, and stoplights and stop signs are like the end of the world in it. So that's probably why I'm gonna sell it right after this. But man, oh man. Just look at its stance sitting over there for those trees. It just looks insane, dude. Well, there you go. The Atom is back on the road and as fun as ever, full of brand new fuel. And Jake got to rip it, I got to rip it. I'm sure the detailers want to take it out for a pass or two, but I think I'm going to be listing this on Mods and Miles in the next couple of days. So if you want to buy it, it will be on there, and there will be a reserve, of course. It will be in the same territory as other Atoms. All the other Atoms aren't nearly as fast as this. This is like the 3rd fastest one in the world. So just be aware, you can price it pretty well based on that. It's out of control. I loved it, and now I think it needs to go to somebody that'll do more than just let it sit. It does, of course, come with 3 sets of wheels and tires, drag set. There's an RE717R. What are those, Jake?
RE71R.
RE71Rs. There you go. There's a full set of those. A full set of Hoosier slicks for track days. Everything you want. Like, I have everything for this, which is insane. Of course, PFI Speed built it. You guys know the drill. One of the craziest Atoms in the world. For sale soon, I think. Huge thank you to DSS for making it happen for me. And of course, those 60 to 130s were out of control as well. And I don't think we could have done that without their axle, because last time we tried to make a big pull, the axle just snapped. So that new DSS axle is going to make a huge difference. That was, of course, the one we built at PFI Speed. So this is a huge upgrade from our hacked together one that got us home and made 600 horsepower. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop. WatchJRgo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I'll talk to you next time. How much do you like that clutch?
It's pretty unreasonable, but very similar to my Ducati. Best thing about this is how easy it is to move.
It is easy
just
to
kind of do this maneuver.
That's it. Anytime you need to
go. You know, I mean, it doesn't get simpler. You can't do this with just any car.
In your shop at home?
Most of them have bodywork.
That's right. You can just move the car. Anyway, it's a race car. Be aware of that if you're bidding. It is absolutely a race car. But you can do that. So that's
okay. I almost didn't make the dismount.
Continuing the tradition. Every single time I've ever driven the Atom, it broke, and it broke. These are basically what's going on with this is all of the welds on this Ross Fabrication exhaust. It's a guy in Kansas City. It's not actually like a company. I think he just like lasered out his own little tag here, which looks beautiful, and he made it out of good material, and it was sort of well engineered. But like every time we take it somewhere, the welds break on it because the welds are poorly done. Everyone said they're not back purged properly. And Ted Garcia, who's fixing all of this, was like, I don't know if it wasn't back purged properly, but like whatever it was, it just wasn't quality welding. So obviously the last time he fixed the flange off the turbo, or no, he fixed, the flange off the turbo where the wastegate is. And now this time it broke the welds on the adapter here where it tapers out. So now I got to pop off that Allen key and run that back over to him and have it welded back together. Just, it's got to break. But hopefully, I mean, that one should be the easiest one. It's way easier than the last thing I took him. Should just take a few minutes. And I mean, I don't know the guy. I hate to like hate on his exhaust, but every time this thing makes any power, it breaks. So I feel like that's not supposed to happen. What can you do? Something needed to break, and at least that's maybe a $10 fix and not something major. So I'm happy about that. And it was hilarious that it finally hit the limiter and popped the weld immediately. All right,